Good morning. Saturday morning. Let's find a comfortable seat. Take a moment if you need to shift around just to get comfortable and situated. Feel into what in your body is needing more of your attention today. If you're feeling pretty active in your mind or internally with emotions, you might set your left hand on your chest and your right hand on your lower belly. And to help tune inward, perhaps close your eyes. Taking a pause for silent listening inward. Begin to explore the depth of your breath. Hearing the breath become a little louder. Using the breath to help transition your focus into here and now. So I've been trying to educate myself with the consciousness that's arising. And here are a few quotes that I extracted from different sources that I've been reading or listening to. This one is by an anti-racism educator for over 50 years. Her name is Jane Elliott. And she simply said that racism is a learned affliction, and anything that can be learned can be unlearned. Shunyamurti, who is a spiritual teacher in an ashram in Costa Rica, where I visited, led a talk where he said, the only medicine for this, of course, is the letting go of all the premises upon which this false consciousness has been based. That has led to this horror of a world of hatred and distress, of anxiety, of having given up all of the original powers of healing, our original powers of healing, of peace, even the ability to communicate, because that no one trusts the word of anyone else. But transitioning into something more positive, Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen master, was interviewed. Aren't you worried about the state of the world? He allowed himself to breathe and replied, what is most important is not to allow your anxiety about what happens in the world to fill your heart. If your heart is filled with anxiety, you'll get sick and you will not be able to help. Moving on to the feeling of anger and how to deal with it mindfully. Here's a source called Headspace. As we stew on what upsets us, our angry thoughts fan the flames until we reach the point when we project our dire outward or seek to blame others. And that's where we need to understand the role our mind plays in stoking the fire. With practice, we learn to see that anger doesn't need to erupt in a matter of seconds. In fact, once we learn to view anger as a fleeting energy, we come to realize that we can be in control of it, not vice versa. We also come to see our anger with more clarity, realizing that it can actually be a healthy emotion if channeled in the appropriate way. From Conscious Collective, Joseph Kaufman said, it's fear that divides us, holds us back, causes us to judge and discriminate against each other. So then I invite you to reflect on what would be the opposite of fear. Lastly, here's a quote by the poet Rumi. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. As a collective humanity, we have the power to affect consciousness, starting within. As you begin this practice, clarify what you're here for, what you're cultivating within yourself, and thus emanating into this world too. We're going to start with a balancing breath, alternate nostril breathing. So as you sit up tall, letting the left hand rest on your lap, you might bring the thumb and first finger to touch. With the right hand, stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring finger. And as you close your lips, you might eventually close your eyes. And when you feel the pattern of the breathing technique, just continue at your own pace when you feel ready. So just breathing through the nose, exhale this breath completely. Hold the breath out. With the right thumb, cover your right nostril. Inhale through your left. Hold the breath in. Last two fingers cover left. Exhale through right. Hold. Inhale through right. Hold. Cover right with thumb. Exhale through left. Hold. Inhale through left. Hold. Cover left. Exhale through right. Feeling the pattern. Continue a few more rounds. Allow the breathing technique to dive you deeper into consciousness of subtler layers, beneath thought, beneath emotion, even beneath physical sensation, so that we utilize the power of deep our inner guidance. Finishing this breath, release both hands together at your heart. And start to sustain the breath equally through your nose, building an internal fire we call Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breath. And with that, start to come down onto all fours. We're going to take a very long version of cat-cow, starting with an in-breath on hands and knees, but with an out-breath, drawing your pelvis down to your feet as you hollow the belly and round the back, child's pose. Inhale, rock forward to hands and knees, then coil your chest up into cow pose. Exhale, lift the belly and drop the tailbone down towards your feet, child's pose. Try that for a few more breaths on your own. If there's anything different you want to add, feel free, as with any posture, any movement. Trusting your intuitive guidance. Finishing your next child's pose, separate your feet behind you, hips distance, and tuck your toes, lifting your hips back to downward facing dog. You might like to shift around a moment, a few breaths here, pedaling the feet to warm into the backs of your legs, completely relaxing the neck as you actively spread your weight throughout your fingertips, letting the shoulders rise as you spread the shoulder blades apart across your back ribs. Then finding stillness, bring more attention to the subtle movement of your breath within that stillness. Two more deep breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then inhaling, raise your right leg behind you. As you exhale, slowly step the foot forward into a lunge, whether the back knee's on the ground or lifted. Come onto your fingertips. Breathing in as you allow the pelvis to sink. Lift your heart and look forward. Breathing out, drawing the right hip back. Lengthen your chest forward and fold. Flowing to your breath, inhale to lunge. Exhale, scissor the right hip back. Lengthen your chest forward as you fold. Let's take 3 more breaths. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. This time, come into a lunge and set up for Warrior 2, where you step the right foot at the front and center of your mat, spin the back heel down, and turn the left toe slightly to face forward. Aligning the front heel to the arch of your back foot, windmill your arms and rise up to stand, opening the arms to stack your wrists above your ankles. Then sit into it. Bend the front knee just over the heel, lift the pelvic floor, lengthen the spine, and take a breath in. As you exhale, keep the bend of your front knee and flip the right palm up and overhead towards the rear of your mat in Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, shift forward, and this time bring the right forearm to your right thigh in side angle pose, raising the left arm overhead towards the front of your mat. Exhale, rise up through Warrior 2, and again, reverse it, Peaceful Warrior. Let's take 3 more breaths. Inhale, forward, forearm to thigh, side angle pose. Exhale, back, right palm towards the sky, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, forward, side angle pose. Exhale, up and back, Peaceful Warrior. Last round, keep bending the front knee towards the front of the mat. Inhale, forward, side angle. Exhale, up and over, Peaceful Warrior. This time, inhale forward, lower your hands flat on the floor, step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Let's take 3 breaths. As you stack the shoulders over your wrists, rebound your weight off the floor to your hands and look forward, lifting the sides of your waist. Now on a slow exhalation, glide forward, bend your elbows to hug your side ribs, and try to carefully lower chest and belly at the same time. Take a few breaths in Cobra as you point the toes firmly on the mat. You might even like to crawl your fingertips outside the mat and give your shoulders some isolated rotations, or gently turn the head to stretch the neck. Breathe in. Breathe out through the nose, warming yourself from the inside out. As you plant your hands on the floor beside your lowest ribs, tuck your toes. With an exhale, press up to plank and lift your hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Slowly, as you exhale, step the foot forward into a lunge, whether back knee is on the ground or lifted. Come onto your fingertips, breathe in, let your pelvis sink as you lift your heart forward. Breathe out, draw your left hip back, and extend your chest forward to fold. Again, inhale to lunge. Exhale, scissor, left hip back, chest forward to fold. 3 more cycles of breath. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor, and fold. Feel the synchronicity of breath, body, and mind. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor, and fold. This time, return to the lunge. Align the front heel to the arch of the right foot as the right toes slightly face the front of your mat. Press down to your feet and cartwheel the arms to rise into Warrior Two. Bending the front knee just over the heel, breathe in, breathe out. Flipping the right palm to face up, left palm to face up, sweep it overhead towards the rear of your mat in Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, pass through Warrior Two and shift forward. So your left forearm lands in the left thigh, raise the right arm overhead towards the front of the mat, side angle pose. Let's flow. Exhale, up and back, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, up and forward, side angle. Exhale, up and back, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, up and forward, side angle. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. Exhale, up and back, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, forward, side angle. Exhale, up and back, peaceful. Inhale, forward, side angle. From here, make your way back to Peaceful Warrior. This time, take a breath in. Then lower your 2 hands to plank and pause for 1 inhalation, firming the center in towards the spine as you look forward. Slowly exhale to shift forward and down, either all the way down for Cobra or halfway down for Upward Facing Dog. Firm down through the tops of your feet. Then exhale, lift your hips back. Downward Facing Dog. Let's take about 3 full breaths. Listen in on the sound quality of your breath. Now with bent knees, look forward at the end of the exhalation. Lightly land at the top of your mat. Forward folds. Press your legs to the floor and inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, fold in. Firm down through your feet. Inhale, rise up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, bring your hands together. To affect the energetic movements through your body. Sun salutation B. We're going to go right into a continuous flow. So listen to your breath and sustain it. Bring your feet to touch, bend your knees to touch, and sit low. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, dive forward to bow. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen halfway. Exhale, step to plank to lower or lightly jump into halfway down chaturanga. Breathe into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Control through the belly, step the foot forward inside of your right hand. Drop the back heel and face forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to Warrior One. Then exhale, lower all the way down into your vinyasa. Whether a full vinyasa or cat-cow, or might choose to hold plank pose, meet in downward facing dog. Second side. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, set the foot just inside the left hand, spin the back heel down. Facing forward, inhale, rise up, Warrior One. Exhale, lower to flow into your own vinyasa. Deep breath. We'll meet in downward facing dog. As you arrive in downward, honor the stillness there to become more aware as you fine-tune your breathing and focus. Let's take 1 more cycle of breath here. And at the end of the exhalation, lightly land at the top of your mat. With feet touching, inhale, lift your chest and lengthen forward. Exhale, fold in. With knees touching, inhale, sink your hips and lean back, chair. Exhale to rise up. 2 more cycles, continuous flow, like a moving prayer. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or lightly jump back, exhaling to lower. Inhale to lift the heart, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step it forward, back heel down. Face forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, lower, flow, or however you need to alter it. Breath in, back to downward facing. Second side. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, set the foot inside, left hand, right heel down. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, lower, your choice of vinyasa. Feel the breath move you. In stillness, let's take 3 to 5 breaths, downward facing dog. Bottom of your exhalation, lightly land at the top of your mat, feet touching. Breathe in, lift your heart, look forward. Breathe out, bow in. Knees together. Inhale, sitting in chair pose. Exhale to rise up. Last round. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or lightly jump back into your choice of vinyasa. As you might know the sequence already, flow at your own pace. We'll eventually meet in downward dog. Otherwise, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward, back heel down. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, lower, vinyasa. Second side. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, step it forward, back heel down. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, lower, vinyasa. Full breaths. As we meet in downward dog, again, be still, be here. Tune into your breath. Though we energize and move the body, it's yet another tool to calm the fluctuations of the mind. Now with bent knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhalation, lightly land at the top. Feet touch. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in. This time, let's sit in chair and add a twist. So join your hands together at your hearts. Keep your knees in one line as you sink the hips. Breathe in and lift the heart, belly in. And at your waistline, begin a twist to your right. Just turning the rib cage without turning the pelvis. Sit a little lower if you're looking for more depth. And continue to twist as you breathe out. Now you could use the leverage of your left arm against the right outer leg. Or not. Try to keep your heart higher than your hips. Find some way to feel ease within what might be challenging to hold for 2 more breaths. Draw on your internal resources for resilience. Sink your hips a little lower. Inhale, back to chair. Now extend your arms forward and begin to slide your back against an imaginary wall to sit. Pelvis on the floor. Either catch hold of the backs of your thighs, the ground, or nothing, and lift your legs, sit up tall. Feel the lift of your pelvic floor as you draw the navel in towards the spine and lift the heart, but relax the shoulders. Can you allow some sense of surrender to be here, even in what might be a little discomfort, for 3 last breaths? Feel the power of you directing your breath. Now start to step the feet on the ground, shift your weight forward, and come back through chair. Take 1 inhalation, press into the ground, and exhale, rise up. Separate the feet hips width apart and parallel to prepare for a standing back bend. Place your hands on your lower back so your fingertips are facing downward. As you draw the tailbone towards the ground between your heels, feel the lower belly gently press towards the back. Then lift your back ribs, lengthen the lower spine, bend your elbows close together, broaden the chest, and circle your shoulders behind you and down as you lift the heart up. Start to gaze up, mindful of maintaining space in the back of your neck. Feel the opening not only across your heart center, but down to the front of your hips as you gently press the lower back forward. For 2 more deep breaths. Now contract the belly and slowly lift the spine upright and release your hands. Let's bring the feet together for side 2. Releasing any anticipation, being with this breath right now. Bend your knees and inhale into chair. Join your hands at your heart and feel your alignment of hugging towards your midline. Beginning to rotate your ribcage to face the left side. Maybe sit a little lower. Continue to lengthen your spine on an inhale. Twisting maybe a little further on the exhale. You might explore using the leverage of the right arm against your left thigh. Whatever your variation, feel the qualities of ease and steadiness you create from the inside out. Last 2 breaths. Harita Utkatasana, revolve chair. Sink your hips a little lower, inhale the arms up in chair. Then reach the arms forward, slide your back down the imaginary wall, and lower all the way to sit on the ground. This time, open the knees apart, bring the inner edges of your feet to touch, and with your index and middle fingers, your peace fingers, clasp your big toes. Now roll the shoulders back and down. Feel your weight springing off the ground to your sit bones, and lifting the spine, lift your heels so they come together to touch. So the knees are bent open, lifting the heart. Find some ease in your neck, your shoulders, your breath. Then start to extend your left leg, whatever degree it can straighten to the left. Doesn't have to be all the way. And find your balance in this asymmetrical shape. Lift through the center line. Breathe in, breathe out through the nose. Rebend the left knee, extend the right leg. Feel your center as you lift the frontal hip bones. Breathe in, breathe out, come back to center. You might choose to straighten both legs to whatever degree. Apart as you lift the heart and feel a lightness there. Soften the shoulders down, lengthen throughout all of your spine. Last 3 breaths, bring the legs together, whether knees bent or legs straight, whether you keep holding the big toes or let go. Breathe in, exhale 3. Breathe in, exhale 2. 1 more breath. Exhale, cross your ankles, flex your feet, plant your fingertips alongside your hips. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, try to lift your pelvis off the ground by imagining lifting your pelvic floor. And set it down 1 last time. Switch the cross of the ankles, feet flexed. Fingertips on the ground alongside your hips. Take a deep breath, let go of any expectation, and just try. Maybe you hang there and swing. Somehow, bring your knees behind you and come onto all fours. You could swing the legs to one side as well. So now that you're on hands and knees, let's spin out the fingertips, stretching into the inner wrists and forearms. So they either face the outer edges of your mat or your knees to some degree. Breathe into a slow cow pose, lifting the chest and sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Feel your pelvis tilt forward. Breathe out, engage the belly first, and allow the pelvis to tilt back, rounding the back to cat. Take about 2 more slow cycles of breath in cat-cow. Returning to an even, calm pace of breathing. Then as you relax to a neutral spine, spin your index fingers to face forward. Plant the palms flat and tuck your toes. Lift your hips back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee and turn open at the hip. As you splay the thighs apart, take another breath in and tack your left hip back. With an exhale, softly step the right foot directly between your hands and spin the back heel down as if preparing for Warrior Two. Rising up, cartwheel the arms into Warrior Two and take a moment of feel. Your right outer hip wrap underneath your body as you trace your right knee and middle toe down the midline of your mat. Firming the top of the left thigh bone back as you turn the left knee and toes to slightly face the front, spine upright. Then slide your hips sideways towards the rear of your mat and come into hold side angle pose that we were flowing through in the beginning. Whether you place your right forearm or hand on your right thigh and reach the left arm to the sky, or perhaps add some form of a bind. Bringing the right hand on the right arm inside of the right thigh as you press against it, you might wrap the left arm behind you, placing it on your sacrum or catching hold of the right thigh. Keep wrapping the right glute under your body and now direct your tailbone actively towards your left outer heel while turning your chest slightly to face the sky. If available, you could reach the right arm under your right thigh so the hands meet to clasp or you hold a strap. Be aware of what sensations are guiding you to find a good balance of opening, challenging yourself, but staying grounded, connected to your body compassionately. Let's take 3 more breaths in this version of Parsvakonasana. Now take a look at your right foot. Lower your 2 hands to frame it. Pivot the left toes to face forward so you lift the heel and then step the left foot forward 1/3 of the range. Slightly shorter stance. Feet are about hips width apart now, so your hips are evenly facing forward as we come into pyramid pose. Straightening both legs. Draw your right outer hip back as though you could balance a book across your lower back so the hips are even. Then firm the belly in and lift the chest, looking forward. Folding little by little from your hips. Feel the optimal length of your spine. Keeping the throat open. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. By engaging the fronts of your thighs, especially your right quadricep here, allows support to lengthen the back of your thigh, your hamstring. With an inhale, look forward. With an exhale, step left foot next to the right and folds. Inhale, circle the arms to rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, bring the hands together at your heart in mountain pose. Now steady your gaze somewhere, possibly on the ground or just straight ahead on something that's not moving as we play with more balance. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Feel your two hip bones like two ends of a seesaw that you're trying to maintain balance through the center. Shift your weight onto your left foot, bend your right knee, and lift it off the floor as you flex the right foot. Keep balancing the seesaw of your hips. Either hold your right outer knee with your right hand, or if you want to explore some degree of straightening your right leg, bring your right arm inside of the thigh and catch the big toe with your right peace fingers. Straightening the right leg to whatever degree forward that you can still keep your two shoulders balanced above your two hips and spine upright. How's your breathing? Now turning out your right leg, begin to open it out to the right. Open the left arm out to the left and feel your spine stay upright. Let's take about 4 more breaths here in hand to big toe pose. Feel the ground under your feet and how you spread your weight through the 4 corners of each foot, spreading your toes rather than gripping the mat. Feel the rise of energy lifting up through the center of your body, up to your crown. What could be softened here so that it's not all about strength, focus, and control. There's balance. Now start to bring your right leg forward. Think of lifting your pelvic floor as you raise the arms in the air for 1 breath in. Then step right foot next to the left. Seal the palms to touch overhead. Look up and take a gentle standing back bend. Breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Optional to jump or step back into a vinyasa of your choice, or go straight to downward dog. We'll meet there. As you arrive in downward facing, take a 3-breath pause to just listen in. Now inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee and turn open at your hip. Inhale, tack the right hip further back. And with control through your center, lightly step left foot directly between your hands. Spin the right heel down to rise in warrior 2. Cartwheeling the arms. Feel a wide stance. Now wrapping your left sit bone underneath your body. Align the middle of your left knee with the middle toe down the midline of your mat. With the right leg slightly facing the front of your mat, firm the top of that thigh bone back. Now slide your hips sideways towards the rear edge of your mat and reach the left hand or forearm to lean against your left thigh. But springing off of it, raise the right arm up, side angle pose. You might stay here or explore another variation, like bringing the left arm inside of the left thigh and pressing against it, or some form of binding to open the front of your right shoulder. You might wrap the right arm behind you onto your sacrum or catching the top of your left thigh. You might reach the left arm underneath the left thigh, holding a strap between the hands or clasping the fingers. As you ease into whatever variation or depth you're exploring, listen to the sensations in your body and any shift in your breathing. Let that guide you, trusting your own body's wisdom. Let's take 3 more breaths. Continue to wrap the left sit bone under your body. Rotate the chest slightly to face the sky. Lengthen the tailbone towards the right heel. And lengthen through the sides of your neck. Now look down at your left foot. Cartwheel your 2 hands to frame it as we prepare for pyramid pose. Lift your right heel and turn both hips to face the front of your mat, stepping the right foot forward 1/3, a shorter stance. You might need to step the left foot over to the left a bit to help square your hips. And with legs straight, both feet entirely on the ground, lift your chest and look beyond the front of your mat. Breathe in. Firm the belly towards the back and start to hinge from your hips, little by little, breath by breath. honoring the space at your throat to invite full breath. Uttita Parshvottanasana, pyramid pose. As you engage the fronts of your thighs as though you're trying to lift your kneecaps. Don't actually lock the knees. Feel the support to lengthen your hamstrings. Let's take one more breath. Then inhale, lift the chest and look forward. Exhale, step right foot to meet the left and fold. From down to your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms to rise all the way up. Palms touch. And exhale to gather at your heart. Steady your eyes, steady your breathing, and bring your right hand to your right hip. Firm down to the four corners of your right foot. Feel your center contained. Lift your left knee in front of you and flex the foot. Either catch the outer knee with your left hand or bring the left arm inside the leg and use your peace fingers to clasp your big toe. Continue to flex your left foot. If you're moving towards straightening the left leg, only do so to the amount that you can keep your shoulders right above your hips and your spine upright. Now turning out your left thigh at the hip, start to open the leg to its side. Open the right arm to its side and feel the balance of your seesaw of hips. Root down to your standing foot. Feel the lift up through your crown. Soften the edges where you can. Last two breaths in Uddita Hasta Padangushtasana, hand to big toe pose. Now bring the left leg in front of you, standing tall. Flex the foot and raise your arms. Root down, rise up, take one more breath. Then exhale to set left foot to meet the right. Join the palms to touch, stand tall, and breathe into your standing back bend. Coiling the chest up. Exhale, bow forward. Last vinyasa if you choose it. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or float back. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Paced by your breath. Downward dog, step the right foot outside of your right hand for lizard lunge. Back knee can be on the floor or lifted. Now keeping your right foot facing forward, flat on the floor, hug your right knee close to your right shoulder and draw your right outer hip back. Breathe your chest forward, relaxing the shoulders. Now some options to explore, some that we might not commonly explore, is a little bit of a bind here if you're feeling up for it. You could cross the right arm behind your right calf so the arm is extended straight out to the right and you're on your fingertips. Be aware of how this feels in your right lower back. No compression, in fact, the opposite, more space created by continuing to scissor the right hip back and using the counterbalance of right arm nudging the right calf. Left arm opens out to the left if you're doing this. And then the chest is actively lengthening forward like there's a string pulling your sternum past the front of your mat. Feel the counter forces to help you balance. Right hip drawing back, left heel pressing back, right arm nudging against right calf, chest reaching forward. There's an option to bind. Right arm wrapping behind the right, lower back, left arm behind the lower back, maybe clasping the hands. Keep using the counter forces and find the balance between. Whatever your version, let's take 3 more breaths. In bound lizard lunge. Gently lower your 2 hands on the floor inside of your right foot and simply step back to downward dog unless you prefer a child's pose for 3 breaths. Whatever you choose, try being still here and just listening in. All right, step your left foot outside of your left hand for lizard lunge, whether you choose to lower your back knee or keep it lifted. Just feel into how this side might be a different variation. So hugging your left knee close to your left shoulder, press the left foot flat on the ground so it's facing forward just like the knee. If you're looking for a bind, cross the left arm behind your left calf and walk the fingertips straight out to the left. Feel the counter forces of your left arm nudging the left calf forward and the left calf pressing against the arm as you scissor the left hip back. Use that to help you balance. And as you firm the right heel back, you might add right arm out to the right. Chest forward, look beyond the front of your mat. Relax the face. As you continue to breathe here, if it's appropriate to go towards a full bind, left arm wraps behind the left lower back, right arm meets it, maybe they clasp. Feel the right heel press back, chest lengthen forward, scissoring left hip back, left arm nudging left calf. 3 breaths, whatever version you're in. Gently lower your 2 hands to the ground and step right into your version of plank. Take a few breaths to slowly lower from plank to the ground, lying on your belly. Take a moment here to rest for 3 breaths, focusing on breathing into your belly. Feel the support of the ground under it. Now for our last 2 back bends. Rest your forehead on the ground and reach your hands behind your lower back to clasp or hold a strap between the hands. Slide your knees close together so throughout the posture, they don't splay wider than hips distance. Point your toes back and parallel your feet. Press your heels back so much that your legs lift off the floor as you coil the chest up, reaching the knuckles of your hands back towards your heels. Lengthen the lower spine with the intention of stretching the tailbone towards your heels. Breathe lightness around your heart space as you relax the shoulders down and look slightly down. Last 3 breaths. Bound locust pose. And when you release, turn your head to one side. Take 3 slow breaths into your abdomen. Okay, last back bend on the belly here. Whether you choose the same posture you just did, or hands free, whether they're open or forward in full locust pose, or bow Dhanurasana, using the leverage of your legs. If you're entering bow, again, slide the knees close together, bend them, and catch your outer feet. Kicking your legs towards straight, pull your feet, and feel your knees rise. Keep the knees no wider than hips width and coil your chest up. Through the power of your breath, find a balance of effort and ease. 3 to 5 more breaths, your choice. And this last time when you let it go, you might turn the opposite ear towards the ground. Again, take 3 deep breaths into your stomach. You might like to massage your lower back by lifting your feet and dropping your shins together side to side. Perhaps release some heat by exhaling deeply through the mouth, fluttering the lips. Then press your hands to the floor. Rise up to all fours where we take a counterbalancing posture. Thread the needle. Start with your knees under your hips and your wrists a couple inches forward of your shoulders. And if you'd like to also focus a bit on opening your inner thighs, step your right foot out to the right so the arch of the foot is in line with your left knee. Otherwise, keep both knees on the ground. Raise the right arm up towards the sky and breathe in. Exhale to thread the right arm under your left bent elbow and rest the right side of your head all the way down. Perhaps use a block under your head. Feel that your two hips are balanced. So again, you're not twisting from the pelvis, but from the waistline as you rotate the rib cage. About 3 more breaths. Feel the widening of space across your upper back, the softening the shoulders down your back. Feel the jaw release as you soften your tongue. As you're ready, press up to all fours to switch sides. If you did so on the first side, step your left foot out to the left so the arch is in line with your right knee. Raise your left arm and on an inhale. Thread it under your right bent elbow as you exhale. Rest the left side of your head all the way down, maybe on a prop. Level out your hips, containing your center as you turn your rib cage. Breathe space into your upper back. Lengthen the sides of your neck. Last 3 breaths. Softening your eyes and relaxing the muscles around them. Let's transition into child's pose here for a few breaths. Sinking your weight towards your feet as you allow your pelvis to descend. If you're seeking more lengthening in your lower back, actively reach the arms forward. Let's take a couple of deep, loud as you need them to be, sighs through the mouth. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Any sound, let it go. Ha. One more. Full breath in, entire rib cage, even the lower back expands. And through the mouth, release it. Step your hands back alongside your knees. Drop your chin towards your chest. And as you firm the belly, inhale to roll and stack 1 vertebra at a time upright. Bring your legs in front of you as you come to sit. Straightening the left leg forward. Bring the sole of your right foot into the inside of your left thigh, Janu Shirshasana. Place your left hand alongside your left hip and raise your right arm. As you flex the left foot, ground your sitting bones. Lift up through the center of your spine and relax your shoulders. Twist to face your left side. Then as though a string is pulling your sternum from the upper left corner, fold in that direction. Then using your right hand, press against your outer left calf or catch hold of your outer foot and continue to lengthen from your sternum, softening the shoulders back, a gentle compression into the lower abdomen, grounding both sitting bones, especially the right. 2 more breaths. You might focus breathing into the right side of your lower back here. Still leading from your sternum, breathe in to lift your spine slowly. Straighten the right leg forward, bend the left knee open. Bring the sole of your left foot inside of your right thigh and place the right hand alongside the hip. Raise your left arm up, flex the right foot. Ground to the sitting bones, breathe length through the spine. Twist to your right side and towards the upper right corner, fold, leading with your heart. Use the left hand to press against the outer right leg or to catch the outer foot. Feel the weight of your 2 sitting bones counterbalancing as you fold deeper. You might imagine breathing into the left side of your lower back. 2 last breaths. Lead from the sternum. Breathe in to rise up. Then bend your knees both apart and bring the soles of your feet together like hands in prayer. So from here, let's actually slide the feet away from your pelvis as far as you can while keeping the feet together. If you have a prop like pillows or blocks or anything you could lean onto, go ahead and round your back if that feels comfortable for you. If you don't have a block to rest your head or your forearms on, just hang here with the support of your hands. Let's take 5 full breaths as we broaden across the sacrum, the lower back. Then walking your hands closer to your pelvis, roll the spine slowly upright on an in-breath. Let's come to lie down on your back, finding a restful way of lifting the legs up as we continue to cool down. Whether freely, just like this, like an L shape, or against a wall, or placing your calves on top of a chair, or shoulder stand, which if you do practice it, really being aware of how you're stacking ankles above pelvis, above shoulders, keeping the chin tilted slightly back so that you're maintaining the natural curvature of your neck and not moving the head side to side. Feeling the space between your neck and the floor, so weight is on your shoulders and head and upper arms. If you are in a full shoulder stand, you might make your way through plow, lifting the legs overhead, and through the guidance of your hands walking down your back, eventually lower your spine to the ground. Let's meet all in fish pose. So fish, have your legs straight on the floor ahead, feet together but relaxed. Start with your arms down by your sides, palms face down. Then slip them underneath your pelvis so that the thumbs touch. Bring the elbows close together and press them onto the floor as you lift the chest, tilting your chin back, opening your throat. You might even bring the crown of your head to the mat, lifting the upper back. Whatever depth of this, take 3 to 5 deep exhales. Then gently release your spine to the ground. Bend your knees into your chest. Maybe rock a little side to side or forward and back. Maybe a happy baby or circling the legs to further massage your lower back. And then with eyes closed, hug everything in, close to your midline. Take a full inhalation, expand, expand, and hold. Then open the mouth and splay your body onto the support of the earth. Close your eyes and drop in to rest. If you'd like to join us for a seated meditation for the last 2 minutes, start to lift your body upright to sit. Otherwise, feel free to stay longer in Shavasana. Having used our body as a tool to become more aware of what we hold internally, let's sit in stillness and continue to expand on that. As you bring awareness to your breath, gently deepen it. And if you're still lying down, start to make your way up to sit. As we join the hands together at the heart, let's connect with the intention perhaps of bringing this practice of continuous transmutation of any barriers that might be held within that serve as walls for love to flow. Releasing that. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.